The one thing that I want to do is resurrect Jim Rohn and somehow resurrect him and like make him go out of the coffin and let me interview him. Whether he's a, I want either whether he's a ghost and we can talk about it, or whether he's in the skeleton and he stand up as a skeleton and he talk about it and he pop up from the grave like a zombie and his hand, like imagine this, right? Imagine if he was buried, right? I know people said this is blasphemy, but this is my imagination. So let's say that he was buried in a graveyard, and somehow I went to his graveyard, and it was dark and gloomy night, and it was raining, and I felt like a chills in my bones, and pop, the hand up Jim Rohn, you know, and he's like, Johnny, here's the books that you will need you for success. So he pop up, and then he rise up, and he start talking about books and studying, and then I start interviewing him either whether when he's standing as a skeleton or a ghost. The reason why I mention this is because one thing that I want to do the most is to see. The thing is, I can't interview Jim Rohn because he's dead. People say, no, don't say that, but he's dead. I can't. I can watch his videos, listen to his audios or his books. Books are mentors to me, because if most of people's life, I never knew success, um, or what success looked like, or I never knew how to study right, or I don't know how to read a book, or you like I don't know how to when I was growing up. I don't know how to use these type of knowledge because the knowledge in school are like very um, rigid and it's very technical. You can't really apply it. I mean, think about it. You can apply math, you can apply English, but the problem is it doesn't really help you in your daily life. We need something tangible to do the hands-on things, right? One of the reasons why I'm making this video is because I listened to a Lennon video about mint that you don't know. I don't know. That's why I need. That's why people always like bash me on books because I don't know. Like if people, the reason why I read books is because I listen to Ty Lopez, right? Ty Lopez always talk about mentors and reading books, and he's one of the interview by Tom Buyu interviewed Ty Lopez, and he's like, so where can we find these people? They're right there in the entrepreneurs. They're looking for you, and they want to. The authors are there to. Um, you gotta seek them. You can't. You gotta seek the authors or the mentor out. They're like right there in your face, right? Because they know the road ahead. Mentors, even though we don't have mentor, we can watch their videos talking. One day, if you get the chance, you can ask them for an interview, and one day they become your friends, right? You want to have allies. You want to have mentors and allies by your side. I think that's but it's a give and taking. You gotta put value. When they give a lot more to you, you give back to them. Um, because I think that there is a hole in my knowledge. And I know a lot of people don't like Donald Trump, and I want to talk about Donald Trump too in my videos because I think that people hate Donald Trump. Um, but think about it. Donald Trump is actually an entrepreneur, right? So I want to talk about Donald Trump a little bit. Donald Trump, even though people don't like him, there is a piece of golden nugget. He said in his books, he said that he don't know. And the day that you think, that's why he's always learning. That's why a lot of people who are successful are always learning. Think about this. When you stop learning, when you stop reading or educating yourself, um, what got you there, you slowly, um, you slowly, uh, what was it? Um, you stop when you stop. I seen it. When you stop reading the books, when you stop um, learning and studying, what happens is you slowly go down the path that you don't want to go, And like I was listening to uh, a video yesterday with what's his name, Ed Mylett, and I'll probably leave the link below. And it could help you brainwash the thinking that we have. It's success in every. It's an ongoing process, and if we stop, then we stop what got us there. And so that's why I um, try to build um, this foundation for myself because that's what I actually want. Um, be friends with authors and CEOs. Uh, be friend with mentors that are they know the road ahead because there's a gap between what I don't know and of course experience. Um, that's why I look up to these people because I don't know. I'm still young. I think that the day you know it all is the day you will find out that you will learn something. That's why I like to talk about this story when I was a kid, when I was 19, when I graduated from boarding school. When you graduate, it's a commencement. It's the beginning. That's why I put in my I don't talk about it often. My YouTube channel is called Genesis Personal Transformation for a reason. Because every time you fail, every time you um, like nothing's going on your like nothing is going the way that you wanted to, or something happened in your life, you can always begin again. The beginner's mind. You can always begin to start from scratch, and that's I come from the place because it's always beginning and ending. When your story ends, there's always another chapters that being written by you. That's why I read the book. That's why I interview people, because the interviews rub off on you, right? The interview take a life of its own because these interview are a reminder what I have done, and it's a reminder that I can go far, and one day I can distill these knowledge, experience, wisdom for the younger generations or for people who want to know the road ahead. Because one thing that I don't like to do is go in blind. Um, because there are people who are following blind people and they don't know the road ahead. We often follow other people who don't have the knowledge that we need, and that's what I'm willing to know um, that I don't know. So let's talk about Donald Trump. I know people are gonna hate me on this, but Donald Trump, in my opinion, when people hate Donald Trump, but he's bringing out the worst of societies in America, right? There are symptoms that we see, like like the, American people need to work on that seriously. Like, um, I think that the way that Donald Trump go by things, people might disagree or agree. I don't know, but he bring the worst out of people, right? But you see that American people need to work on themselves more, right? It's not about destruction and destroying life, or it's not about. Think about this. Holy shit, what's with the mass shootings so much? And then I think that people are becoming numb, right? With the mass shootings. That's terrible. That's destroying life. That's destroying God or consciousness. That's terrible, man. But that's why I constantly search for. Because okay, so there's another reason why I read books that I haven't told you guys, whether entrepreneur, authors, or uh, people are my audience. It's because I'm reading this book because I'm thinking the future for a very long time. Even though I don't know when will I will pass on from this life or astral project out of my body, like Soul Reaper or Bleach. If you don't know what Bleach is, no, it's not Bleach. Bleach is an anime where they have this. Um, it's not hell, but it's like a where how do I explain it? Soul. They call it the Soul Society, where the dead, the soul go into that society. But there's they call it Soul Reaper. Um, anyway, why am I talking about Soul Reapers? Why I read books and study so much? It's not well. Maybe it's because of the lack of education that I had it from high school or just school in general. But um, but I'm reading and studying so I can distill that to my kid. If I have kids in the future, I'll distill the principle and the mindset and the psychology of the mindset, because really self-help is really positive psychology. It's working on the mind. Everything that you read, it motivates you to reach a higher level than you were before. It's it's it it's depositing in you that you can pass down to future generation. Um, and that I always think about that, where either in my future kids, where I'm gonna, well, distill them the principles and mindset, and because I think about the future like a lot, and that the more I deposit myself, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the experience, I can give back to whether or the grandchildren. I always think about that. Why I read so much, because I don't want them. I want them to have a better life, uh, a better future, or build a better future for themselves, so they can affect change within every life form. Well, I don't know about aliens, but aliens could count. I want aliens. I want to teach aliens something and kick them in the balls. It's like, nah, I don't know if they have ball sack, but why am I talking about ball sack? But that's the thing why I read so much, because I don't know. The day that you think you know, the day you will learn something. Because people who think they know are very ignorant, and that's why.